Alright, so I'm going to continue where I left off. This is a part 2 of the survival T-Rex map. I believe I was working on the ranger station. So, ranger stations, I've never personally been in one, but I imagine, I'm just going to Google one real quick. So I'm going to get a reference image so I know just basically what I want to try to build my thing off of. Seeing a lot of wooden ones, but I want a concrete one. So I imagine it's pretty much going to just be like any other information center. Doesn't look like I'm getting any good interior shots. But I imagine it would be basically a visitor center type deal on the inside. So that's probably what I'm going to go with. A rundown visitor center. See, I believe I was using plaster 3. So I'm going to, for the columns, I'm going to find a different plaster texture that is similar, but distinguishably different. If you get what I mean, if that makes any sense to you. Basically, when you make a map, you don't want to use the same texture over and over again for everything. You don't want the same wall textures everywhere. You want to break it up and strive for inconsistency, but in a good way. So if I were to add a few pillars around here, that would, I imagine that would break up the consistency. You would be walking along, boom, pillar. Kind of breaks the line of sight with the rest of the wall. It's a decent sized pillar, 52 by 52. So I imagine this will be the entryway. I'll have some shelving along here. Make a little desk at the end here. Yeah. Parking lot, maybe. Not sure. Have a Jurassic Park styled electric fence along here and here. Meets a rock wall type deal, both sides. Could work. Have the exit right there. So yeah, I'm gonna work on the ranger station, I suppose. Now, before I go any further, I'm going to need to probably expand the ceiling because a really short ranger station probably isn't going to work out. I used this texture, so I need one that's similar but different. So let's try this one. Let's just see how that looks stacked on top of it. It's not too bad. I mean, it's not great, but it's not the worst I've seen. I'm going to try a different one. It's going to be difficult to find one that works with this, I think. It's a pretty unique texture I decided to use. Might regret it, but I kind of want it. That's way too white. Doesn't really match the wall. I'm gonna say no to that. This might take a second. Let's see how this looks. No, this looks too grimy like a sewer. Let's see how this works. If I expand that around a bit, curve it maybe, that could work. So I'll try that. Can always change the texture later. You know, it's not set in stone. If I can't get anything to work with this current wall, I'll just change it. As is, the wall on the exterior looks a little bit like it should have been water of some sort because the stains. But I kind of like it. Works with grass as if it's giving off a mossy look. So right now I'm just giving kind of trim to transition it into the ceiling, between the plaster and the ceiling. I probably choose a different texture on the inside. On the outside, it'll work. Inside, I still want a different plaster texture. One that would kind of merge more with the top. Let's see how that works. Yeah, that could work. Now these columns here, I'll have those rise up to meet the ceiling once I implement the ceiling. As is, the outside's about 160 units tall. The inside is 4 units less, so 156. It's not bad for an interior height. For a scale reference, just throw that guy in there. Get a little coach right there. So yeah, as you can tell, it's a decently height on the inside. Should be plenty of room to jump around. I'll get the ceiling going. I'm gonna go with an aluminum roof type deal. Probably not gonna find one named aluminum, but corrugated metal will work, I guess. Along here, gonna kind of give it a little curvature, I think. About 96 units tall. We'll be shrinking this down a bit. We want the texture scale a little lower. Because as is, I believe the corrugated metal starts too large, but that's a little better. So now I'm going to start cutting this using the clipping tool. Just gonna get a nice little curved roof going, so it's not just a flat roof. It's kind of a no-duh statement. I believe I started too high. Yeah, too high. So 2 units up, full brick of glass. Yeah, 2 bricks up, 2 units across. Like that. I think I want it further down. Yeah, further down. Right there. Put it another unit over. Now I want it above and 2 over, like that. And then from here to there. Subduct one. Yeah, that'll work. Next, I'm going to move this down to here. And I'm going to cut it off where that meets there. If there's anything to cut. There wasn't. Okay, so now to start with the roof. Basically the way this works is I'm going to be using the vertex tool to line it up with these little stream seams, however you want to call them. You'll see what I'm doing in a minute. Line them up as best as I can, I suppose. I'll turn off snap, so so I can get a little bit better at it. Doesn't look like I'm going to be able to get it spot on, so I'll go with a little lower. And 2 units down, that's going to put it about there. Clone it, move it up, and reposition. Should only take a second. Yep, clone it, move it up, position, and then we can finally get it to touch the top. Drag one across, there. We'll change the rotation of the texture at a further point. Let's copy, let's drag it across, clone it, rotate it. Let's see if this fits. Hopefully it will. It won't. It's no big deal. It's not too bad. Just reposition everything. I'm not too steamed about this. It's not something to really worry about. Other people might worry about this kind of thing more, but personally, when it comes to designing roof, you don't always want it to be a perfect mirror image, especially when on one side you're going to have to end up adding a segment over anyway. In this case, though, I think we will make it flat roofed right here. So now this leaves a little bit up here. As far as that goes, it should be fine for the most part. Raise the... For the columns, let's add some beams. Some support for that nice little sheet metal roof that we still have to work on. So, not too big, not too small. As far as this goes, we'll use the clipping tool on the beams. Then we'll clone the beams across. Not sure I like this beam texture. I'm going to get a different truss. I'll use that one. Looks a little dirtier anyway. Center it. It's not too bad. Just gonna get a little fancy on this, I guess. No one's gonna really notice it. I mean, you could get super fancy with every detail. No one's gonna notice at all. I actually have a lot of secrets in some of my maps that have never been found. Still waiting for the day when someone's going to find some of them. I don't count on it though. I've hidden some things pretty well. My latest high-rise map, for example, has a, I actually have a boss in it. I'm not going to go into detail though. But yes, there's a boss that you can trigger with that map. I don't think you'd even be able to figure it out by decompiling it, because I obfuscated the boss's entities. That means that if you decompile it, you're not going to see the map for exactly how I built it. I'm a little nefarious. I've done that with a few other maps. Oh, uh-oh, we're a little off here with that. I don't know how that happened. So, huh. Well, just gotta move it, I guess. It's not that big of a deal. Let's just look here from this view. Yeah, that somehow just got messed up on the rotation. Wasn't even off, just badly rotated. So no, chances are no one's even gonna be able to get this high as to see that, but I still do it, just in case. Gonna rotate this 90 degrees. Okay, paste that over there. This should be fine. We're gonna add a flat roof here. Might just use sheet metal again. We'll also be adding a trim to this flat roof part. Fancy it up a little bit. Yeah. Now let's get all this settled out. Rotate that 90 degrees. Center it. Let's make all this 0.15 as far as scaling goes, so that it's consistent. Gives us a little finer of a corrugated metal texture at pretty much no cost. Center all that. Let's re-rotate that. Center. That's fine, no one's going to really view it from the top. And that should be fine itself. Let's just get that rotated 90. Yeah. No one's going to really see this, but it's just good practice to do it just in case someone does manage to see it. In all likeliness, there are modded servers that may or may not play your content. Sometimes they'll have no clip or some sort of fort spawner. We'll add windows to the roof itself later. I think this is coming along. On the inside, let's change this metal texture up to a more insulated feeling. I don't know, that makes it look too much like a giant vent, and that's not something you want. Oh, this texture exists for a reason. It's always good for this. Gotta rotate that. Yeah, that works. Even kind of fits with the beams a little. Now, this isn't a shining example. Now, as is the beams just kind of go into the roof, so let's make it look like they cross around and connect to each other real quick. Now remember, this isn't supposed to be a visitor center net. Supposedly, it's whatever you want it to be. In my case, this is kind of a abandoned ranger station type feel, kind of a woodsy one, you know. It's not going to be all bells and whistles. It's going to be very basic, designed to last. That's how they would design it if they were going to set it in the forest. If there's dinosaurs running around, they're going to design it to be a little strong, but in this case, it obviously isn't going to be strong enough, because I might destroy a part of it later. We'll see about that. For the sake of helping people learn how to map, I might take this ranger station, make it look destroyed. Hopefully make some sort of a good example as far as that goes. Now, not much has been done in the 20 minutes or so, but it's a start. Mapping is not supposed to be a super quick process. It's a long process with lots of review, and we'll be continuing this in part 3. So just go to part 3 to continue this.